Well, good morning everybody and welcome to the start of the video. It is 4 a.m., the ungodly hour in which flight attendants seem to find themselves up and about. Now, in today's video, I want to talk to you about how to be successful your first year as a flight attendant, but instead of just sitting around talking at you, I'm going to take you with me on a 3-day trip. Now, with that being said, y'all got to go because I got to go to work. So back in the bag we go. See you in a minute.
First piece of advice I would give you is don't commute. Do not commute. But if you do, always get a day room, okay? Don't sit around the crew room. Y'all already know that's my policy. Live at base your first year. The name of the game your first year is to eliminate all extra points of stress. That is one of my biggest tips to you. When they interview you, they're gonna ask you if you are fine with relocating. Don't tell a lie now, you better tell the truth and say yes and relocate. When they asked me that question, I said yes. Give me a reason to move. I wanted to move far, far away, and this job was a good reason to do it. So look at it as a whole new adventure. Your first year as a flight attendant, you really want to live where you're based, as close to your base as possible, because most likely you're going to be on reserve and you can get called at a moment's notice for any trip. And even if you're not on reserve, if you're one of the lucky ones who gets a line right out of training, you want to do everything you can to make sure that you are on time. That is the most important thing, okay? You've got to be on time, not 1 minute late. And by on time, I mean about 5 minutes early. That is one of the most important things about this job. You got to be on time. So you'll learn. So just commit to living at your base. Just know that going in, know that before you get the job, wherever that base is, they can send you anywhere. They don't usually tell you where you're going to be based before you get to training. They usually tell you in training. They might tell you before, depending on the airline, but just commit to living there. It'll be a new adventure. It could be a place where you never saw yourself living, but you might end up loving it. So speaking of loving it, I am loving this hotel room, this day room right here. You already know we got to do the room tour real quick. All right, I haven't unpacked anything. I literally just got here. And of course, I locked the doors. So no crazy people in this room. We got ourselves a cute little day room situation. Here's the bathroom, hub. You already know everything we need. Y'all got this pink puffy jacket on because it is so cold and wet outside. This is the bed. This is a really nice room. Now, you already know what we gotta do. We have a microwave. Now, we got a fridge, but is it going to be cold this time? I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but we're gonna find out. Let's go. You know what? It is cold this time. Won't he do it? We're supposed to work. Is this lighting good? Ooh, that's a little better. We are supposed to work from Dulles to Portland today. That's our first leg. We only have one leg today, and it's just been canceled. I looked about an hour ago and it wasn't canceled, but I did see that the plane that we're waiting on to go to DC was already delayed an hour. So I knew that we would at least be delayed, but it looks like we're canceled. So this, my friends, is what we call a trip falling apart. So we're looking at the trip right now. It's looking like, let me back up and tell you the trip. So one leg to Portland today. We had a 21-hour layover, and then we were going to go from Portland to San Francisco and then work the red eye from San Francisco back to DC, easy peasy. Land on Christmas Day, be home for Christmas. Everybody has a great holiday celebration. But now we're looking at the trip some more, and it's looking like our flights on the second day are also getting canceled right now too. It is December 23rd. The weather's crazy right now all over the country, especially on the East Coast and moving towards like the middle of the country. And so it's pretty crazy. My mom just called me and told me that Charlotte Airport is on a ground stop right now because of the weather. Today when I was in Charlotte and I was driving to the airport, the wind was blowing so much that it was blowing my car a little bit as I was trying to drive across the highway. So I had to like slow down and be really careful and alert. The plane, it was blowing the plane around while we were still on the ground. We had a decent amount of turbulence. So the weather is crazy. It's cold. I had a feeling that we were going to be delayed, but I'm really kind of sad that I got all the way here and now our flight is canceled. I mean, you know, I'll take a canceled flight. Kind of sucks sucks because I already paid for this hotel room. It would have been more convenient for it to cancel yesterday, but we are here. We are in our beautiful day room. And it's lit. Honestly, we are not only blessed, but we are highly favored. This day room only cost me $77 with tax and everything. The day room situation, you gotta make some phone calls. You gotta like kind of bargain a little bit and you gotta cross your fingers and pray about it. I called 3 hotels to try to get a day room. First one wanted $160, and I think we all know how that phone call ended. Second hotel wanted $139. This is all before tax. I was like, we can do better than that. Third time's a charm. This hotel wanted $69 before tax. I was like, take my money. I've got this room. I can be in here until 6 p.m. It's not even 9 a.m. right now, and it's only $77, y'all. So I'm so happy, so grateful. If I end up getting stuck, I hope I don't end up getting stuck here, but if I do, at least I'm in this beautiful hotel room. So this has been the first time in a while that I've had to get 2 hotel rooms in a month. Usually I have to get maybe 1 in a month or maybe 1 every 6 weeks. So far on hotel rooms, if you watched the last video, I also had to get a day room, and that cost me $110 after taxes and everything, 110 flat, and this one is 77. So we are $187 in our day room budget. My budget for day rooms is about $250 to $300 a month, but normally I only spend like $100 every, like I said, about 6 weeks. So I'm not mad about it. Y'all know I'm not gonna sit around in the crew room and waste away, but I'm gonna have to get on the phone with crew scheduling and see what they want to do with us. There are 2 possibilities. One, the one we're hoping for. One, we could get released with pay. People always ask, what happens when the flight gets canceled? Well, they gotta release us. We're line holders, so we had this trip on our line. We anticipated working this trip. We're prepared to work this trip. So they have to pay us for this trip as long as we're here and we're in position to work it, even if it cancels. So if the trip ends up falling apart, we will get paid for the trip and we will be released from duty, so I'll get to go home. Now if we were on reserve, it'd be a different story. If we were on reserve, then we wouldn't end up getting paid for the trip, but reserves have a guarantee that they get paid every month. We won't get into all that right now, but so that's one possibility. We could get released with pay. The second possibility is they could reassign us. This is a 3-day trip, so they have us for 3 days. Technically they can do whatever they want with us for 3 days, so I'm hoping that they just release us so I can go home and be home for Christmas Eve and bake cookies with my dear mother. I would love that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But this is not how I was expecting this video to go. But back to my original point. I had to get a banana to actually survive the flight. But now that we've talked about living at base, you know you're gonna live at base because you don't want any drama. If I could give you a really big piece of advice for being successful your first year, I would say stay in a crash pad your first year. I know we talk about crash pads. We don't want to live in a crash pad, but I really think that it's best for your first year. You're still getting your feet wet. You're probably getting used to a new city. What I would definitely tell you is to not, do not sign a lease, get an apartment, get a house, get anything with friends that you meet in your training class, with people that you meet in training, other flight attendants, other new crew members. Even if they're cool in training and y'all vibe and it's, it's cute, you do not know these people. You don't know if their habits, you don't know if they're dirty. I don't care if they were your roommate in training. Do not sign a lease with them. Don't get an apartment with them. Don't group up and decide to sign a lease with a bunch of people from your training class. I'm telling you right now, as the senior mama that I am, I've been doing this for a long periodically time. She is 8 years in. You just don't know how people really are until you live with them. You don't know if they're going to be bringing random people in and out of y'all's apartment. You don't know what they're going to be doing. So what I would suggest is to stay in a crash pad run by a flight attendant or someone who's in the industry, or even someone who's outside the industry, but get yourself into a crash pad recommended by other flight attendants, some place where you can have your stuff, where you can have a bed that nobody else sleeps in. I still don't know the difference between a hot bed and a cold bed. I think a cold bed is where it's just your stuff and nobody else sleeps in that bed. So I think a hot bed is where when you're there, you're sleeping there, but when you leave, you have to take all your sheets and you have to take all your stuff and then someone else can sleep in that bed. I think that's what it is, but Get a crash pad where you can stay there all the time, especially when you first start out. You're going to be on reserve. You're basically going to live there. And you know, it's going to be like college all over again. You're going to be roughing it. You're going to be bunking, living with God only knows how many people. It depends on what city you're in. If you're on the West Coast, you're probably going to be living with a bunch of different people. And it doesn't sound the best, but I would say that that's what's best for the first year. One, it'll help you to save your money. Two, it'll help you to really get to know people. If you live with someone in a crash pad for a year or for a few months, then you'll get a much better idea of how they are, how they operate, what their habits are, versus you just spending a few weeks with them in training and you know they're cool and y'all laugh and kiki. Be observant. It's good to make friends, but it's not always good to live with your friends. So while you're living in the crash pad the first year, save as much money as possible. And I know it's going to be hard to save a ton of money, but even if you save $10 a week, that's $40 a month. That adds up over time, and after a year that could be what you need for your down payment on an apartment. Crash pad will help you live around other flight attendants. Y'all be able to talk to each other, pick each other's brains, complain a lot, and hang out and go explore. It's a really fun environment to be in, and the best part is if you don't like it, if you don't like the people there, if you don't like the crash pad, you can leave. You're not signing a lease to stay there for a year or 6 months or God only knows how long, like you would if you were getting an apartment with a bunch of other people. And you know, with that, it's usually one person signing a lease, and people will dip out on you and just move out, and they won't pay you rent and they'll ghost you. Just don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. With a crash pad, it's almost the same as an apartment, but you really don't have any strings attached most of the time. You pay a deposit, then you pay whatever your first month's rent is, and you stay there for however long. And when you decide to leave, you give them usually 30 days notice. And when it's time for you to leave, you get your deposit back and you leave. So that's how a crash pad works. And you can move into a different crash pad if you don't like the one you're at, or you can, if you hit the lotto and you come into some money, you can get your own place then, or you can get a place with someone that you know and someone that you trust and someone that you really think you can live with. So that's a huge piece of advice. A lot of people group up with people out of training and get an apartment, and that's just, it's a bad idea. Don't do it. Thug it out for a year. You can do it. Speaking of saving money, y'all already know what I'm about to do. I'm about to eat, y'all. I'm so hungry. I got these reusable Ziploc bags from TJ Maxx. They are amazing. Helps the environment, although they are a little bit hard to open. Ran out of bread, so I had to make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on a bagel, but oh my God, I think this might be the new thing. It looks so good. Meal prep, bring your own food. That is the best way to save money. I might have spent $77 on this room, but somebody spent $77 on airport food and room service. So meal prep, bring your food, invest in a good lunch bag like this e-bag. There are other brands that are really good as well. You'll feel a lot better, and you will continue to be as cute as the day you were hired. Cheers. Y'all look at this foolishness right now. Can y'all see that? It's like sleeting a little bit. It's like rain sleeting sideways. Y'all.
Hours later.
All right, little update. So after being on hold with scheduling for over 2 hours, your girl is going to work. She is not getting released with pay. So I have a slightly easier trip, but it is throwing a little bit of a wrench into things. Maybe we won't name or claim that, but it's an easier trip. So now I am deadheading from here, from IAD to Fort Lauderdale, have a short layover, and then I am working 2 flights the next day. So, and I get back on Christmas Eve in the afternoon. So I'm still gonna get home though. We're gonna get home named and claimed. It is like 11:35 right now. So I've got about a solid 3 hours until I need to get up and get ready to go back to the airport. So I'm gonna take a nap, put on my scarf, and get up and get this trip started. Let's go to work. All right, bone apple teeth. It's time for me to get up and get ready to go. I packed a bunch of food, but all of it was with the intent to cook at work while I was on the plane. So all I have is a microwave in here, and I cannot cook today because I'm deadheading. So did I say that? I'm deadheading to Fort Lauderdale. So got myself some Amy's pesto tortellini here, and we are going to get this down before I have to head back out and go back to the airport, because if I don't, I won't get another chance to eat until like 9 o'clock tonight. So, and a salad that I brought from home, and I finally got myself a permanent fork spoon thing, so I'm never gonna not have a fork or a spoon again. So I'm gonna eat this. Y'all bring your own food. Don't try to flex on the gram. We gotta be realistic. We gotta bring our own food and save that coin. All right, so I'm making really good time. That tortellini or whatever was pretty all right. We'll definitely get again. It could use a little seasoning like most things, but it was pretty good. But I'm making really good time. I just had a chance to freshen up a little bit. I'm just gonna finish getting dressed and getting ready and go to my deadhead. Y'all know what a deadhead means. That means I just get to fly as a passenger. I'm gonna be sitting right behind right in 7C, minding my business, living my best life and not working this flight. So I'm gonna go ahead, get ready, go to the airport, and I will see you when I get there. All right, so we have found ourselves finally in another hotel room. We are in Fort Lauderdale FLL. I had a little bit of drama, so that's why I'm just now getting to update you. So I was sitting there waiting for boarding for my deadhead, and my spidey senses started to tingle. My intuition was like, check your hotel stuff. So I get on my phone, I check my hotel, the hotel that they put me in. They put me in a hotel in Miami, and I'm laying over in Fort Lauderdale. So long story short, luckily our flight was delayed a little bit because I was on the phone, was scheduling I was on hold for over an hour getting my hotel switched to the right city. So luckily I checked that before I got here. I would probably still be sitting at the airport and being real mad. So got my hotels all situated. I've had a lot of crazy things happen, but I have never been assigned a hotel room in the wrong city. So that happened. So I was dealing with that, but we got here safe. The crew who worked the flight was really nice. So yeah, we are all here. It is almost 10:30, and yeah, not much of a room tour. It's just a room, y'all. It looks almost exactly like the other room. I just had to go to get some ice from the ice machine. Not on this floor because that one's broken. I had to go up to the next floor and get some ice for my lunch bag because the refrigerator is hot AF. So, but that's first world problems. A lot of chaos and craziness going on today with the weather and flights being canceled and delayed. It makes everything complicated for everybody. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna sit here and act like we are not on hold with crew scheduling for long times normally, but when the weather's bad and when there's delays and cancellations, everybody's trying to call scheduling at the same time because their trips are falling apart, so it takes even longer. So I was on hold with scheduling for over 3 hours today total, just trying to get myself situated. But y'all, I only picked up this trip because I wanted to work with my friend, and they split us all up, and actually she ended up getting released. I don't even get to work with my friend, so womp womp. Oh well. But I actually have to wake up pretty soon to begin my trip tomorrow. I have 2 flights tomorrow, and I'm just hoping and praying that I'm able to get on a commuting flight home tomorrow. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so y'all pray for me. I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna try not to worry about it. Today has been an easy day. It's been filled with a little bit of drama and just not knowing what's going on, but I haven't worked any flights today, so there's that. So yeah, we definitely gotta praise the Lord for that. So I'm not gonna complain. Tomorrow I do have to work, maybe, but anything can happen, right? We'll see. But I'm gonna go to bed now, and I will catch y'all in the morning. Good night. Good morning. It is the next day and I'm ready to go. I've been up for a while. I had to get some stuff done, try to trade my trips around because y'all, I got a trash line for next month. But anyways, so today is go home day. We're going to speak that all over today. It's go home day. It's go home day. Right now I'm about to go get on the hotel shuttle and go to the airport. We are in Fort Lauderdale and we're about to go to Houston, and then we're going from Houston to Fort Lauderdale. Because the trip got all messed up and scrambled around, I was originally supposed to be lead on this whole entire trip, but now I am just some random flight attendant who works just some random position. So I honestly have no idea what I'm about to do, but I'm gonna figure it out. And that is a perfect segue to my next point. You want to work as many positions as you can your first year. You want to learn as many positions as you can. You want to learn how to work the lead position. You want to learn how to work every single galley. You want to learn how to be an expert at the aisle. You want to know how to do everything. People tend to have a little bit more mercy on you in your first year, and they're more willing to teach you and help you the first year versus when you're 20 years in and you only do the aisle and you only do international and you get thrown on to a little Airbus, turn to Florida, and you're about to have a panic attack. There are a lot of people who are only comfortable doing one thing, and I'm not throwing shade. Y'all know domestic is my comfort zone, but I know how to do a little something, you know, here and there. I know how to shake it up, but there are definitely positions that I wish I had learned. Like I really wish I had learned to do galleys on bigger aircraft, especially international. Pro tip for you, if you can learn how to do every single galley, you will be a god in this industry. Learn how to do the galleys. Ask the more senior flight attendants when you're on their flight, take the opportunity to ask them to show you how it's done. The galley queens love the galley, and they will they'll be more than happy to help you and to show you, because there's only so much you can really learn in training about how to do your position, but learn from a senior flight attendant how it's really done, and I promise you, you will be golden. Just out here waiting for the hotel shuttle, pick me up and take me to the airport so I can check in for my flight. It is cold in Florida. It feels like it's like 50 degrees out here, and it's a little windy, so that's why I've got my jacket on, but yeah. Should be here in a few minutes. Alright, so we're about to board, so I really don't have a lot of time, but I'm working the aisle in the back, so I am blessed and highly favored, at least on this leg. I'm going to go up and meet the pilots, talk to them, and we should be boarding in a few minutes. So going to Houston, and I'll see you there. Hopefully I can get some Starbucks when I get there. Okay, so update, we have more uncertainty, more plot twists, I guess, for the vlog. So just landed in Houston, and my next flight back to Dulles is canceled. So my go home leg is canceled. Crew scheduling hasn't updated my pairing yet, so I'm gonna have to call them and see what they want to do. My next flight was supposed to be like nowish, so this could work out in my favor. I'm gonna name and claim and say that it's gonna work out in my favor, and I won't say anything else right now, but I'm gonna call them and see what they want to do. They have to get me back today because today is my last day on the trip, so they can't keep flying me around after today. So we'll see what they want to do, and I will let y'all know. Y'all pray for me. I'm gonna call them now and get this pairing updated and see what we can do. It is Christmas Eve. Y'all pray for me. So I have walked around the airport all the way up and all the way back looking for a chai tea latte with almond milk, and I could not find one. Apparently all the Starbucks stores are out of chai and they're out of almond milk, so I really don't have another drink I really like to drink at Starbucks unless I just need to be awake and I just want a latte with like 3 shots of espresso, but I don't want that right now. I wanted my chai. I was gonna sit here, enjoy my chai tea latte. Anyways, as you can see, we are rolling with the punches today. This job is the most unpredictable job I've ever had. Things change on a dime and you just gotta roll with it. You can't be tight in the chest. Definitely learn how to just flow like water, man. Just go with the flow. Obviously, I'm still on hold with crew scheduling. I've been on hold with them for almost 40 minutes. Hopefully they answer the phone soon. I'm not the only person impacted by delays right now. If I could give you some more advice, I would tell you that now is a good example of a good time to really stay positive and try to keep your spirits up. It's really easy with this job. Things go wrong all the time. They go wrong every single day, every single second. And it's easy to have that happen day after day after day. And it can impact you if you're not careful. It can make you negative. It can make you grumpy. And sometimes you're grumpy for a little while and you take a break and you get your spirits back up. But there are people who they've been doing this job for a long time, or they've been drinking the Kool-Aid and listening to too many negative people. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, by the way. And they're just constantly negative and constantly just a dark, dark cloud. One thing I always try to remember is people don't fly all the time like us, you know? People, I thought they answered wishful thinking. People go to jobs that they hate day in and day out just to pay for a plane ticket to sit in the last row in the middle seat of economy. You don't know where they're going, what they're going for, what they're doing. just be nice, be compassionate, be gentle in the way that you talk and the way that you move. And that's not to say there's always circumstances where you really need to assert your authority and to be direct, especially when it comes to safety or security. But just in general, just try to be calm, be cool. If you find yourself in a tough circumstances, just lean on your crew members, talk to your crew. Sometimes people don't like to deal with women, you know, sometimes people don't want to be told what to do by women, and that's just one example of a challenge you could face with this job. It's just so important to keep your cool, be calm, and just smile, man. Nothing can break me anymore. I'm 8 years into this thing. You can't break me, you can't surprise me, and that confidence will come with time and experience. But just remember, try to give people a good experience. Some people are really, really scared to fly. They're really, really scared of turbulence. Go check on them throughout the flight, you know? Little things like that really make a big difference, and it keeps you sane and it keeps your blood pressure low. If you're just not tight, don't be tight, you know, just be cool.
2,000 years later.
Oh my god, not this lighting being terrible. Anyway, so update, last time I talked to y'all it was about 11:30. It is now 7:30. I have been in this airport since 10:30 a.m. Basically been chained to my phone the whole time. I have spent over 6 hours trying to get in contact with crew scheduling. Basically how it works is if anything happens with our trip, if our trip falls apart or if it doesn't go as scheduled, if we have cancellations, if we have long delays, crew scheduling is supposed to go in and update our trip. They can see our trips on their end and they can see when things go wrong, and they're supposed to update it and get us all rerouted. But that's not something that they always do. They're not always on it like they're supposed to be, especially when there's weather and lots of cancellations and delays. So long story short, I finally went to in-flight after sitting around for 6 hours. Mind you, I'm not getting paid for any of this time. I've worked one 3-hour flight today, and that's all I've gotten paid for. I haven't gotten paid for any of my time that I've been sitting around since 10:30, and it's now 7:30. So finally, long story short, someone one of the supervisors helped me, and I'm going to get on a flight to Charlotte right now. Well, the flight's delayed. It was supposed to leave a couple hours ago, but yeah. That is the long short story. So let's pray I get on this flight. I think I will, and then I will be home for Christmas. Fingers crossed.
2 hours later.
You are in Terminal C.
Does this look like Charlotte International Airport? I don't think so. I don't want to complain or be negative or harp on about it. I will say right now I am absolutely furious, so I'm gonna get off camera real quick. But obviously I didn't get on. On the bright side, I do have a hotel, so I'm not like scrambling to find a hotel in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve. So I've got a hotel. Unfortunately, sometimes standbys are the last priority, especially employee standbys. Revenue standbys, which are, you know, passengers, like say you missed your flight and now you're on the standby list, you're a priority. But unfortunately, employees commuting or just traveling for pleasure a lot of times are not a priority at all. And if they have to choose between closing the door and letting a standby on who's an employee who works, they will close the door. So that's what happened to me tonight. There was a seat on the flight, but they wanted to close the door, and that was what they chose to do. So here I am on Christmas Eve. I was hoping to get home tonight, even if it was late, and wake up in the morning and enjoy some delicious Christmas morning mimosas. That was the plan, but that's not what's gonna happen. But it is what it is. I'm just gonna go to bed and be grateful that I have this hotel room. There are people who their flights have gotten delayed, their flights have gotten canceled, and they're sleeping in the airport tonight. So I'm gonna be grateful, and I'm gonna try not to let my blood pressure get too high. And I hope that y'all are having a Merry Christmas, or that y'all had a Merry Christmas, because by the time I post this, it'll be God knows when, after Christmas. But anyways, so yeah, just never know what's gonna happen with this job. Unfortunately, today has been pretty much every single thing that could go wrong went wrong, including the airport running out of chai and almond milk for my chai tea. I didn't even get a chai tea latte today, y'all. Like, everything went wrong today. There must be something good in store for me right around the corner. I'm telling you, when I have days like this, I'm like, okay, so something good's got to happen, because today was terrible. But like I said, I have a hotel, so it could be a lot worse. So with that being said, I'm gonna go to bed, and the plan is to get on the first thing smoking out of here to Charlotte so that I can at least spend most of Christmas with my family. Good night. Good morning, everybody. Let's try this thing again. It is 5 a.m. and I've had about 4 hours sleep. When I woke up, I was like, where am I? I thought I missed my check-in from yesterday. So we're gonna try this again. I'm just gonna try to get on every single flight today until I get on a flight home. The first flight out of here to Charlotte is at 6:30 a.m. on American. So I'm gonna try. I think the flight's full, but you never ever know. So all I can do is hope, and all I can do is try. So let's hope and let's try today. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Day, and let's see if I'm able to get home today. I am a strong believer that, I've said this before, if I'm supposed to be somewhere, I know I will be there. If I was supposed to be on that flight yesterday, I would have been there. So I'm just grateful that I had a hotel room to sleep in, and that I can't even tell you how grateful I am for that. So yeah, with that being said, let's see what happens today. All right, so got my Starbucks. I ordered a tall, but they forgot to make it, so then they gave me a grande. So I'm waiting to get on the flight now. It is full, but we'll see. In times like this, even when I'm desperate, even if, well, I'm always desperate when I'm commuting. I don't ever think I've had a commute where I've been like, oh, I don't care if I get on. No, I'm just trying every single flight from the first one to the last one to get home. That's just what you got to do when you're trying to get home and all the flights are full. You just never know if there's going to be seats, even if it says the flight is full. You never know if people are going to show up. You never know if people are going to be late, if they're going to misconnect, if they're just not going to get there on time. So this has helped me so many times get home just being early. So I don't know if it's going to work right now in this moment, but it might. So we'll see. And we are back. As you can see, I got bumped again. Didn't make it, but I did bring my hotel key just in case this happened. I had this room until about noon. So I was sitting there debating maybe I should just stay in the terminal since I'm already there. I really don't want to go through security again. But then I was like, what's worse, going through security again or sitting in the terminal for another 2 hours? And you know what? This is just reality. I knew it would be an absolute miracle if I got on that flight. On the bright side, every other standby got on, which seems like a downer, but I'm glad that they got on because now there's less people trying to get on the next flight. So I really do think I'm going to get on the next flight. The next flight is at 9:10, and I really think I'm going to get on that one. This one was completely full and 10 standbys still got on. I just happened to be number 11. So it is what it is. It's still always worth it to try and take the earliest flight you can when you're trying to get somewhere. It has helped me way more times than it's been a result like this where I just didn't get on. Not taking a complete L. I did get my chai tea latte with almond milk, and I ended up getting a grande when I ordered a tall. So just had to wait for it. The theme of this whole trip in these last few days has just been waiting and like delays. So I rebuke the delays. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna make it home. I'm still gonna make it home for Christmas. I think the only person who's more upset than I am is my mom. I think she's really mad. So now let me say this. So what happened yesterday with them leaving me here with a seat on the flight? Now let me say this. The gate agents are usually very good at getting standbys on. Usually, I would say most of the time, they're very good. They'll make sure all the seats are full and they'll get the standbys on. But you also do have times like yesterday when they'll just close the door and they'll leave seats. That has happened to me at least 5 times that I know of. It happened to me like 3 months ago when I was trying to get to work. They closed the door early and left me and like 3 other standbys just standing there, and there were seats on the plane. The plane just left. Once they close the door and once they pull the jet bridge away, it's 99.9% chance too late for anybody. Like they're not going to pull the jet bridge back. So I will say that the gate agents are under an immense amount of pressure to get the door closed. I mean, they really are. But I'm trying not to let yesterday. I couldn't sleep for a long time last night because I was so mad about what happened. But at the end of the day, they have the power, them and the captain, to get you on or not. And sometimes you, just like in any situation in life, you encounter people who just don't care. And it is what it is. I've had way more instances where they have really tried and really made sure that I got on if I could get on. You know, obviously they can't conjure up a seat out of thin air. If there's no seats, there's no seats. But if there are seats, most of the time they will try to get you on. What I will say, if I could give you any piece of advice, especially you newbies who are coming on and y'all don't have no seniority, when you're non-revving, obviously, like I said, list for the earliest flight you can to give you the best chance to get on. When you get to the gate, go up to the gate agent and make your presence known. Tell them that you're here, that you're on standby. Sometimes they're annoyed, they don't want to talk to you because you're a standby and you're and they're busy, but just tell them, hey, I'm on standby, just want to let you know I'm here. Make your presence known, and then stand right there. Don't walk off and go into a corner. Stand right there so that they can see you. You've already talked to them. Stand where they can see you. Stand close to the podium. That's why you see so many standbys lurking right by the podium. We already know what it is. I know that you can see me standing here and I'm waiting. But be patient, be kind. They know what they're doing. Let them do their job. Sometimes the standby list clears by the computer and it's automatic, and it happens a little bit after boarding starts. So once the regular customers are boarded, if they still haven't called standbys up yet, go gently up to the podium and just ask them if they've cleared standbys yet. And yeah, just wait. That would be my biggest advice. That's what I did yesterday. I did all those things yesterday and it still didn't help me, but most of the time it does. I'm going to just chill, relax, enjoy sitting in this room for the next hour and change. I'm going to finish my latte. They already rolled me on to the next flight, so I don't have to go early to list myself. Another thing I will say, make sure that you are there an hour before departure. If you are listing on another airline and you have to list yourself and you have to go up to the gate and talk to the gate agent, make sure you're there an hour before departure, because that's when the gate agent will be there. So that's my little 2 cents, more tidbits, more nuggets of wisdom, y'all. How long is this vlog going to be? And are we going to have a happy ending? Y'all pray for me. I will see y'all in a bit, and we'll see what happens. All we can do is try. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully for the last time. We'll see. Y'all, I finally made it back. AA does what? If they're gonna do anything, they're gonna save the day. They saved the day again, as usual. Gate agent made sure I got on, and here I am at home for Christmas. It's like 12:30, 23 hours stuck in Houston later, 9 hours on hold with crew scheduling later, bumped off of 2 flights later. What else do we have to deal with? No chai in the airport later. 3 canceled flights later. Here we are, y'all. I'm so happy and I cannot wait to get home. It's the happy ending for me, y'all. What am I doing with these long edits? This video is another full-length movie, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. As crazy as this trip was, and as many challenges as we had, I will say there were so many good things that happened at the right time. Shout out to the in-flight supervisor in Houston who really helped me. He was helping everybody. So many flight attendants during the holiday season have just been like, their trips have just exploded and fallen apart, and crews right now are just stranded and they're out for way more days than they originally were supposed to be. So shout out to everybody, to all the flight crews working, to the flight attendants, the pilots. My heart is with you. It's just really chaotic this year. Hopefully we can learn from this year and do better next time. But like I said, shout out to that supervisor who helped me out. Shout out to the really nice man at the hotel desk. Oh my god, he was so cute and he was so nice. And shout out to the gate agent, and shout out to AA. As usual, y'all always do right by me. I swear y'all do right by me every single time. The gate agent was like, just stand right here, I got you. I was like, okay. So as you can see, I made it home, and I am happy to report that I did get my Christmas mimosas. Okay, as soon as I got home, I got breakfast. Shout out to Rob, he made me breakfast. Like, it was such a good Christmas. We watched Christmas movies, just the whole shebang, man. I have worked the holidays pretty much almost every year, I think, since I started this job. And originally I was supposed to land on Christmas Day and fly in the morning of Christmas, like early, like 6 a.m. flight. So I ended up getting home around noon. The reason why I was low-key pressed to get home as soon as possible was because I only had Christmas morning off originally. I only had that day off, and then had to go right back out and work 2 more trips back to back starting the day after Christmas. So needless to say, I'm not doing that now. Whenever I have crazy trips like this and I just feel like so overloaded with stress, I take off, I give my trips up, and that's what I did. So I'm not working again for another few days. I'm gonna have another few days to recharge and just to
to, I will be strong by the time I go back to work. So this is gonna be a much needed break. So that's that. Don't tell me you weren't entertained by all the drama that happened in this video. If you made it this far, let me tell you something. If you're one of the people who never ever comments, but you always watch the video and you've made it this far, I just want you to put a hand wave emoji in the comment section. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to say anything. But if you never ever comment, just wave. Just give me a little wave, because y'all, I've been through a traumatic experience. So I can wave back at you. I will wave back. So leave a comment. If you made it this far in the video, you are a real one. You are just the best of the best. And if you enjoyed the video, come on, listen, I'm not gonna beg, okay? You know exactly what to do, okay? So literally just do it, all right? Y'all take very good care of yourselves. All you crews out there, take the best care of yourselves. You are in my heart, and I will see y'all very soon with another video. Bye.